There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome to Community Spotlight. I'm your host, Leah Haslage. Today's Spotlight is on the Earned Income Tax Credit, also known as EITC. With us is John Mahoney, who is the Administrative Manager of the City of Cleveland's Office of Fair Housing and Consumer Affairs, and Kathy Matthews, Senior Program Director with Enterprise Community Partners. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Start off by telling us what the Earned Income Tax Credit is and who's eligible.
Great, thank you. The Earned Income Tax Credit is a federal refundable tax credit that's available to low and moderate income taxpayer or low wage earners. And it is widely praised as one of the most effective anti-poverty programs in the country. It essentially, for families that are eligible and able to claim it, it is attributed to lifting millions and millions of families across the country above the poverty line. So it's a refund based on income that's earned and available to most working families under a certain income threshold.
John, is this something that a lot of people benefit through the City of Cleveland's department when doing this? Like, is it something that you do out of your office, or is this something that their organization provides through you?
Okay, their organization provides it. We've been a partner with them for probably since I've been here, so we're talking 10, 11 years. And when we go out into the community, we try to take this information because there's many people who don't even know they're eligible. We want to make sure they can get this money, they can do repairs, they can just start savings or whatever. So it's really important that we get the people the money they deserve and they've earned, and then they can make their lives better and do some different things with that. So it's been a great, strong partnership, and we want to continue it.
Yep. And actually, some statistics is that in Cuyahoga County, there are 121,000 families that claimed the Earned Income Tax Credit. And of those, more than 50% will go to a paid preparer to have their tax returns completed. What our program does is offer free tax preparation, focusing on those who are eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit. Our volunteers that work with us to prepare the tax returns are trained to look for it. So what we're trying to do is, first, of the 121,000 that are claiming it and are going to a paid preparer, how do we encourage them or be aware of our free services and take advantage of it? And that does two things. One, it saves them money. Mm-hmm. They don't pay the preparer, and then they don't get offered, in most cases, a refund product in which they pay more fees to get the refund that they've earned. And so the other group that we look to promote the EITC with is that it is said that there's 1 in 5, or about 20%, that don't claim it because they don't know that they're eligible for it. And so we work through our coalition to make sure that families and individuals who are eligible for it are aware of it and make sure that they claim it.
What are additional benefits that people receive through the EITC?
Well, first, it's a refundable credit, so it can be first and foremost used to offset a tax liability. So if you owe money on your taxes, you can use this credit to offset your tax liability. If you have no tax liability, you can you can receive the entirety of the refund without any withholdings. And so it's a real advantage in that it is a refundable credit, and it can also be used to offset a tax liability. Research has said and has shown us that in addition to it being an important form of income for a family, is that it promotes work, because you have to be working in order to claim it. And the more hours you work, the more you make, and the higher the refund. It promotes good health for families who are claiming the refund, because they use those funds then to take care of their families, to provide rent, pay for utilities, buy food. The use of the refund is pretty basic. It also helps, and research has said that it helps children who receive the credit, or their families receive the credit during their childhood years, that as adults they're more likely to have better educational outcomes and higher paying jobs. And so that there's just this whole breadth and broad scope of benefits that are tied to this one-time annual event in which they'll get a boost to their income by claiming the credit that is has an immediate and positive impact, but also a very long-term impact for those families that are eligible for it.
Now, the Cuyahoga EITC Coalition, which your organization leads and spearheads, tell us about that and what do they do?
So we are Enterprise Community Partners is the lead organization for the coalition, and we work with about 20 different community-based organizations throughout Cleveland and Cuyahoga County that organize with us and for us in providing free tax preparation through the IRS's VITA program. It's our Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. So with the support of 20 organizations throughout Cleveland, and then in addition to really important financial supporters like the county, the city of Cleveland, United Way Services, and the IRS, along with every financial institution in Cleveland, we work together then to provide this important service, which is free tax preparation, managed by volunteers or provided through volunteers that the coalition takes the responsibility to both train and certify our volunteers so that they're well equipped, have the knowledge they need, the tools and the skills they need to provide a really high quality service then for taxpayers who are eligible for our services.
Now, these volunteers, how do you find your volunteers? What kind of process is that? Can anyone volunteer for the organization?
Yes. In fact, we are only limited by the number of volunteers that we have. So we're always recruiting and looking for volunteers. I like to say our volunteers come from three buckets. I love our retirees who are looking to give back to the community and be involved. We have a lot of college students, and so we work with almost every college and university in the city to recruit students to volunteer with our program. And then our corporate partners and financial institutions especially provide volunteers who then donate their time to volunteer at one of the 20 sites. And our hours are mostly evenings and weekends because most of the clients we're going to serve are working. So we make ourselves available evenings and weekends. And through this incredible network of volunteers, we will help almost 14,000 to 15,000 taxpayers during January through April. And without volunteers, our work wouldn't be possible.
Oh, definitely. Now, the volunteers, what have they, along with the coalition, accomplished so far?
So in 2018, our volunteers and our partners, or our host organizations, were able to complete almost 14,000 tax returns, which is the equivalent of almost $18 million worth of refunds. And what's important about that is first and foremost, is the families who get to keep the $18 million and not have to pay a preparer or someone else fees to claim those important refunds. But that it also benefits the community because we know that those refunds are spent locally. So it's just an incredible program that I think really has had such an impact, not only on an annual basis, but since our inception in 2004, we've assisted more than 130,000 families and individuals, resulting in over 180 million refunds. And I just can't stress enough how important that impact is for families who claim this important credit, and to the volunteers who have supported us. That's over 3,000 volunteers over the course of these last 15 years that have supported us to make that possible. For every $1 we spend on the coalition in support of our program, we return $30. So the ROI on this program is really impressive, and I again attribute that to the strong partnerships we have with our community-based organizations here in the community, along with hundreds of volunteers that will come out and support us each year.
You mentioned an economic impact. How does that come back to our community?
So the refunds, we know as we survey our clients or the people that we serve, how do you spend your refunds? And they tell us consistently year after year, they're spending it on really basic things. They're spending it on catching up on utilities, paying their rent, basic household goods, and or whatever that family who receives the refund deems important for their family to be not only self-sufficient, but also to thrive, no matter what goal or whatever aspiration they have for themselves or their children.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, so don't change that channel. We'll be right back with more Community Spotlight.
One in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Welcome back to Community Spotlight. I'm your host, Leah Hasledge. Today's Spotlight is on the Earned Income Tax Credit, also known as EITC. With us is John Mahoney, who is the Administrative Manager of the City of Cleveland's Department of Community Development, Office of Fair Housing and Consumer Affairs, and Kathy Matthews, who is the Senior Program Director at Enterprise Community Partners. Welcome back to the show. Now, with the EITC, what is the biggest misconception about it? What are some myths you want to debunk?
First is that it will negatively impact someone's eligibility for other benefits. It is not well understood or not widely known that the income that you earn from the EITC cannot be counted against you if you're looking to apply for other benefits. There are also, rather more so than misconceptions, is that there, as I mentioned earlier, there's 1 in 5 that don't know they're eligible, and that's for a couple of different kind of niche groups that we need to do a better job of promoting what we do, and that's with grandparents or foster care parents who are taking care of children that could be eligible. There are people who are enlisted in the military who may be raising children alone that don't know that they might be eligible, and that your marital status or your income, unemployment, and or a reduction in wages on an annual basis could move you in or out of eligibility. And so there are times when people aren't aware that they're eligible, and we feel it's just so important to do interviews and opportunities like this so that we can raise the awareness for those who may be eligible but aren't claiming it. And again, why our services are so important, because our program is trained, or our volunteers are trained to be on the lookout and to screen for EITC eligibility and to be able to answer questions for the families or individuals we're serving so that they know their financial status and eligibility today, and we can even talk about what it might be in the future so that they can plan accordingly. We want families to be able to take advantage of it, use it for immediate needs, but we also like to promote perhaps savings and other ways in which they can become more financially secure. We also offer with many partners at the Community Financial Centers, Neighborhood Housing Services of Greater Cleveland, CHN Housing Partners, and ESOP. We offer one-on-one financial coaching. So what we're trying to do is really educate the families. First and foremost, take care of their immediate need when they come to see us is for tax preparation, but really educate them and begin to build a foundation of financial knowledge so that they can use that knowledge, build on it for next year's tax interaction or next year's tax planning. But then also, if they're interested, take advantage of some of the one-on-one free financial coaching. It's free, and free is free. Yeah. Is that they could take advantage of the financial coaching with one of our partners who then can either answer some of their immediate questions or needs, and or if the person or the family is interested, they'll stay with them for as long as they'd like in terms of coaching, planning, and that could be one meeting, it could be several meetings. It really is driven by the interests of the families or the individuals we're serving. And so what we try to do is bring a holistic approach to really helping families maintain and gain greater financial stability.
Yeah, financial literacy does go a long way when
it absolutely
saving.
does.
Yeah. Now, those that have taken advantage of the EITC, what opportunities have they gained from it? What are additional benefits?
Well, again, as I mentioned earlier, they're able to get caught up on utility bills. Some know that they're going to be getting this refund, and so they use this refund to get caught up on bills. They use it to perhaps start saving. They use it to be able to afford rent, or important household purchases, perhaps a car, pay up against some medical bills. Again, there's so many uses that are so basic and so fundamental to the health and well-being of a family that it's really important to, again, why this free program is so important, because even a couple of $100 that they pay to a preparer and or for other fees is real money that these families can put back into their pockets, and they're not spending it on frivolous, unnecessary items. They're making a difference in their lives and in the lives of their children, which is so critical.
If someone would like to meet with someone from the Cuyahoga EITC Coalition. Where can they go, and what materials do they need to bring?
So our phone number to the community is, we use 211, United Way's 211, so you can dial on any phone 211, and you'll be connected with a representative, and you just indicate that you're interested in free tax preparation or one-on-one financial coaching, and the representatives at 211 are well-versed with our program. What they'll do is, there's two things. One, they'll ask if you are interested in setting an appointment, what zip code do you live or work in, and then the representative will refer that person up to 3 locations, and then they will also ask if you'd like to schedule an appointment for financial coaching, that too would also be available. We respect people's time, and most of our sites are all by appointment so that you can plan your time accordingly, and know that you'll be there for an hour, or if you decide to do coaching, that time could be longer, so you plan again accordingly. All of our sites, all 20 of them, are available through 211 and are accessible via public transportation. There's free parking, so we're trying to make accessibility as easy as possible. We even have accommodations for limited English speaking clients. We arrange for interpreters. The deaf and hard of hearing community, we've made special arrangements there, and anyone else who might have some form of disability or has special needs, we're really looking for ways to accommodate them as best we can, and again, 211 can help them, put them in touch with the services. The other way to reach us is through our website at refundohio.org. A list again of all of our sites are located on our website, and you can also, for your convenience, be able to book an appointment online if you do choose to.
And how can we get more information, John?
We can go to the website. You can come to our website at the city, and we're going to paste the flyers with all the information, so you can do that. And just remember 211. That's the easiest way to schedule it. So that's a good way to get the information out to everyone.
The other important thing to remember too, and people always get frustrated or disappointed, is when you do schedule an appointment, make sure you have the documentation you need when you show up at one of our sites for your tax preparation appointment. Things like, we need a W-2, we need a photo ID, we need original Social Security cards for you, your spouse, and your children, and other related tax documents that make the transition or that make the transaction as seamless as possible.
So your W-2s, your 1099s.
All of that needs to, you do a double check. Again, this is where 211 is great. They will remind you. And our website also lists what are all the important documents. In the event that you feel ambitious and confident in doing your taxes on your own, you could also visit myfreetaxes.org, and through that you are able to self-facilitate getting your taxes done for free with a free e-file, but you're just doing it yourself. The difference with our program is a volunteer will do it for you. But for those who are confident in their computer skills and have a basic understanding of how to complete the tax return, you can still do it for free on myfreetaxes.org. Or again, we encourage you to sign up and take advantage of one of our volunteers helping or assisting you through the process at more than 20 locations located throughout Cleveland. And again, visit 211 or our website at refundohio.org for a convenient location near you.
Lastly, is there anything else you think viewers should know about the Earned Income Tax Credit?
I would just like to plug for our office, the Office of Fair Housing and Consumer Affairs. We work with Cleveland consumers, so this is right in our basket there. We want to help people with their financial education. We want to let them know if they have a problem with a product or service and they're a Cleveland resident, they can call us and we can work with them like the Better Business Bureau does, try to mediate things and see if we can come to an agreement with the business or contractor. We urge people to come and look at our website for our flyers on hiring contractors, buying new and used cars, because you don't do that all the time. So it's a good reminder on how to do that, because we'd hate to see the money from EITC or your savings through the year go to a vehicle that's going to not run for you later.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure you get that car looked at. So there's a lot of good things on there, and the people in our office will help you if you have a complaint and try to get things fixed for you, or just give you the information that you're looking for any kind of future financial transactions.
The other thing I would add too is for those who are on the fence or uncertain if they are eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit and would like to know in advance, you can visit the irs.gov website and search for EITC Interactive. And there's a question drop-down box kind of process that you go through to begin to determine your eligibility. So you can take a look at it for yourself if you are
Oh,
interested
wonderful.
in determining your eligibility. And then the other thing, I would be remiss if I didn't say you could follow us on Twitter. Our handle is at Cuyahoga EITC, our Facebook at Cuyahoga EITC Coalition, and Instagram at Cuyahoga_EITC.
So many ways to find you online.
Exactly.
No
Thank
excuses. Thank you so much, John and Kathy, for being here. We learned a lot today about EITC.
You. We
I
so
know I
appreciate
did.
the opportunity.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks. And thank you so much for tuning into Community Spotlight. As always, you can find this information at our website, tv20cleveland.com. I'm Leah Hasledge. Until next time.